All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive.
Yeah, great to be back.
So, we get a lot of requests from our listeners
We do.
asking to really kind of focus on vocabulary building.
Absolutely.
And, that's a huge part of language learning.
It really is.
So we thought, why not take a deep dive into a really good resource, the Oxford 5000.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, it's a list of 5,000 of some of the most important words.
Yeah, high-frequency words in English.
Exactly. The ones that you're really going to encounter in everyday life, whether you're reading, listening, speaking.
Exactly. That's the key, right? It's not just about knowing a word. It's about being able to use it.
Absolutely. And that's what we're going to try to do today.
Yeah.
So we've picked out 30 words.
Okay.
From group 15 of the Oxford 5000. They're kind of advanced words, but we're going to break them down.
We are.
And make them super accessible.
We are. And fun.
And fun. Exactly. So let's just jump right in. First word. And, I think this is one that a lot of people maybe kind of know, but not really correlate.
Correlate.
What does it actually mean?
Well, in the simplest terms, it means to show a connection or a relationship between two things.
Okay, so
Yeah.
how would I use that in the sentence?
Well, you could say, for instance, studies have shown that stress levels often correlate with lack of sleep.
Yeah.
Right? There's a connection there.
There's link.
Yeah, exactly. Or you could say researchers have found that higher education levels correlate with increased income.
Oh, so it's not just about like a one-to-one.
It's not causal necessarily. It's not saying one causes the other, but there's a relationship. There's a pattern there.
Interesting.
And here's my favorite one, because I'm a big reader, you could say. The author brilliantly correlates personal anecdotes with historical events in her new book.
Oh, wow.
So it's that kind of skillful weaving together.
Yeah, so it's like there's intention there.
Absolutely.
It's not just, these two things happen to,
Exactly. It adds a level of sophistication.
Yeah, very cool. Okay, so then if correlate is like the action of connecting things, then correlation is like the connection itself.
You got it. It's the noun form of correlate.
Okay.
So, for example, you could say there's a strong correlation between exercise and mental well-being.
Right, like it's a fact.
Exactly. It's stating a fact. The connection exists.
Yeah.
You could also say the study explores the correlation between climate change and extreme weather events.
Ooh, that's a big one.
It is a big one. And here's one that might surprise you, because sometimes we think correlation equals causation, right? But you could say sometimes there's a correlation, but no actual cause and effect relationship.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's where critical thinking comes in, right?
Absolutely.
Just because two things are related doesn't mean one caused the other.
That's so true. I think I always jump to conclusions, so.
We all do sometimes.
This is a good reminder to, slow down.
Exactly. Powerful words give you power over your thinking.
I love that. Okay, next word is correspond. Now, this one I think I know.
Okay.
But maybe not all of its uses.
All right, let's test that.
Yeah, put me to the test.
Okay, so correspond can mean to be similar or alike. So you could say the architectural styles of the two buildings correspond.
Oh, okay, so they
match up, they have similarities.
Okay, gotcha.
It can also mean to communicate, especially by writing letters or emails. So you might say, we corresponded for months before finally meeting in person.
So there's a back and forth?
That's right. It implies an exchange.
Yeah.
And then there's another meaning. It can mean to have a direct relationship, like the map colors correspond to different elevations.
Oh, so it's not just about writing letters.
Exactly. It's much broader than that.
Okay, so it's like things matching up.
Yeah, things connecting in different ways.
In different ways. Gotcha. Get it. So then correspondence.
Yes.
Has got to be the stuff.
The stuff. Exactly. It's the noun form of correspond, and it specifically refers to written communication.
Gotcha.
So think historical archives, for example. The royal correspondence revealed secrets about the king's reign.
Oh, juicy.
Juicy, right? Or for a modern twist, the company's email correspondence is subject to legal review.
Oh, yeah.
We've all seen that little disclaimer.
Right. Uh-oh.
And then don't forget the personal touch. Grandfather's wartime correspondence was a treasured family heirloom.
Oh, that's sweet.
It is.
So it's letters, emails.
Yeah.
But it's anything that captures.
Yes, that exchange of ideas over time.
Over time, I like it. So then now we're going for the person doing the correspondent.
Absolutely. Correspondent is the person who corresponds often in a journalistic context.
Okay.
So you might hear, the war correspondent risked their life to report the truth from the front lines.
Wow. So it's like a specific type.
Yes. It implies a certain level of expertise, often in a particular field.
Not just somebody.
Exactly.
Like texting their friends.
It's more official, more professional.
Gotcha.
You could also say, the White House correspondent grilled the press secretary on the new policy.
Mm-hmm.
So again, that kind of expert in a specific area.
Right. So they're relaying information from a specific
topic.
Very cool. And then I see this word sometimes. I get a little tripped up.
Yeah.
Corresponding.
Correspond.
Is it just the adjective form of correspond?
You got it. It means related or matching in a specific way.
Okay.
So you could use it with visuals like each data point on the graph has a corresponding entry in the table.
Oh.
Right. Like they're linked, they match up.
Yeah.
You could also use it in procedures, ensure you file the documents in their corresponding folders.
Oh, to stay organized.
Exactly. Everything has its place.
Yeah.
And here's one for everyday life. I always buy shoes in corresponding colors to my outfits.
Well, there you go. So it's all about things being like linked in a very specific way.
Absolutely. In a deliberate, orderly way.
Okay. So I like that. Because it can add clarity to your explanations.
Exactly. It shows you're in control of the information.
Okay. All right. Let's move on to something a little more concrete.
Okay.
Corridor. So I'm picturing like a long hallway. Am I on the right track?
You are absolutely on the right track. It's that narrow passage, often connecting different areas or rooms.
Okay.
So you could say, the hotel corridor was dimly lit and eerily silent.
Oh, spooky.
A little bit spooky, right? Or the museum's corridor showcased ancient Roman statues along its walls.
Oh, nice.
And here's one to spice things up. The secret corridor led to a hidden chamber behind the bookshelf.
Oh, now that's a corridor I want to explore.
Right. Secret passage.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's go to a word that's not so fun.
Okay.
Corrupt.
Corrupt.
So I'm thinking like, dishonest politicians.
Right. That's a common association.
It's more than that, right?
It is. It's about a loss of integrity, a deviation from moral standards. It can apply to people, data, even language.
Oh, wow.
So, for example, you could say, the corrupt official abused his power for personal gain. Classic, right? Or the computer file became corrupt, making the data unusable.
Oh.
That's never fun.
That's a problem.
And then think about idioms. Their thinking was corrupted by prejudice.
Ooh, okay. So it's like something's gone bad, rotten, whether it's a
person, information, ideas.
An idea. Wow, that's really interesting. So then corruption is just the
state of being corrupt.
The state of being corrupt.
Yeah, the noun form.
Yeah.
You could say, for instance, the journalist exposed the widespread corruption in the government, or data corruption can lead to system failures. Yeah. And sadly, corruption is a major obstacle to economic development in many countries.
Yeah, that's a powerful set of examples there. And it's not just about like individuals. It's about systems and institutions. Yeah. Okay, this next one hits close to home.
All right.
Costly. And I'm guessing it's not just about money, though.
You're right. It can mean expensive, of course. Like the antique vase turned out to be a costly purchase.
Yeah.
But it can also refer to something that involves a high cost or sacrifice, not necessarily financial.
Oh, okay.
So you could say the team made a costly error that cost them the game.
Ooh, yeah.
Right? So there's a consequence there.
Consequences.
And you can think bigger picture. War is always a costly affair, both in human lives and resources.
Yeah, so it's about those consequences, whether they're financial, emotional, or even like on a grand scale.
Yes, and often with that sense of regret or warning.
Okay, now this one I'm less familiar with.
Right.
Counselor.
Counselor.
Is that someone who, like, counsels?
It is someone who counsels in a specific way. It refers to a member of a council, especially a local government council.
Okay.
So you might hear the city councilor advocated for improved public transportation.
So they're like representatives.
Exactly. They represent the people in their district or ward.
At a community level.
Right.
Okay.
You could also say the town council meeting was packed with concerned residents addressing the councilors.
Oh, wow. So they have
a real impact on people's lives.
a real impact.
Yeah.
And then last one, thanks to the counselor's initiative, the park received much needed funding. So it's really about those decisions that are affecting people.
Yeah, it's all about those layers of language, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Okay, now back to the kind of counseling I know.
Okay.
The one that, helps with problems.
Mm-hmm.
Counseling, the process itself.
Exactly. Counseling refers to the process of providing guidance and support to someone, often to help them deal with personal or psychological issues.
Okay.
So you could say the student sought counseling to deal with anxiety and stress.
Yeah.
Or couples counseling can help improve communication skills and resolve conflicts.
Yeah, it's like giving people tools and strategies.
Tools and strategies, coping mechanisms.
Yeah, to navigate those difficult situations.
Exactly. And empowering them to make positive changes.
Love it. And the person doing that is a counselor?
Counselor, yes. And there are many types of counselors specializing in different areas.
Oh.
You could have the school counselor help students with college applications and career planning.
Mm-hmm.
Or the grief counselor provided comfort and support to those who had lost loved ones.
Yeah.
And to highlight the variety, there are financial counselors, relationship counselors, even addiction counselors.
Wow. So many different areas where people need support.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that even though language learning can feel solitary, we're all connected. We all need help sometimes.
Yeah, that's so true. Speaking of connections, let's look at counter.
Counter.
I know it's a surface,
Well,
like a kitchen counter.
Right.
But it's also a verb, right?
You are a quick learner, it is.
Okay, good.
So as a noun, you could say, the barista placed the coffee cups on the counter.
Yeah, simple.
Easy, right? But as a verb, it means to oppose or act against something. So you could say, the government implemented measures to counter the economic recession.
Oh, okay.
To fight back against it, or the lawyers skillfully countered the opposing counsel's arguments in court.
So it's like pushing back.
Pushing back, exactly. And it can also be used more physically. The boxer countered his opponent's jab with a powerful right hook.
So it can be ideas, actions, even physical force.
Exactly. That versatility is what makes it such a dynamic word.
All right, I like it. Now on to counterpart.
Counterpart.
This one always tricks me up.
Okay, well, think of counterpart as a person or thing that has the same function or position as another, but in a different place or situation.
Okay.
So, for example, you could say, the president met with his counterpart from the neighboring country.
Oh, so like the
other president.
The other president, yeah.
The equivalent.
Okay, I'm getting it.
You could also say, the marketing department has a counterpart in each of the company's international branches.
So it's like things having similar roles.
Mm-hmm. Right. They're fulfilling similar functions, but in different contexts.
But existing in different spheres.
Yeah.
That clarifies it. I like it.
Good. I'm glad. Yeah. The more we clarify these words, the more confident we become in using them, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay, onto a word that kind of evokes a sense of vastness.
Ooh, okay.
Countless.
Countless.
Basically, it just means a lot, right?
Well, it means more than just a lot. It means too many to be counted in a measurable number.
Okay, so it's like a lot.
A lot. A lot, exactly.
Okay.
You could say, countless stars twinkled in the night sky.
Oh, that's a good one.
It really gives you that sense of the vastness, right?
Yeah.
Or The author has received countless accolades for her writing.
Wow, that's a lot of accolades.
Countless accolades.
Okay.
And then to bring it to everyday speech, because we can use these words even in informal contexts, I've told you countless times to clean your room.
I've heard that one before.
We've all heard that one, right?
Yeah, that one's relatable. So countless is really just about, like, emphasizing the sheer number of something.
The vast quantity. Yeah, it adds drama and impact to your language.
Okay, now for a word that already sounds dramatic.
Okay, let's hear it.
Coup. I know it's about, like, overthrowing a government.
Right.
But are there other uses?
It primarily refers to a sudden and illegal seizure of power from a government.
Okay.
So you could say the military coup resulted in a change of regime, or the attempted coup was swiftly thwarted by loyalist forces.
Oh, wow. So it's like high stakes.
Very high stakes, but it can also be used metaphorically to refer to a brilliant, unexpected, and usually successful act or move.
Oh, okay.
So you could say, landing the major client was a real coup for the small advertising agency.
So any kind of, like, unexpected success.
An unexpected or dramatic success, something that gives you an advantage.
Oh, yeah, a coup.
A coup, exactly.
Yep.
It adds a little flair to your descriptions.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to something a little more positive.
Okay, I like it.
Courtesy.
Courtesy.
I think of politeness and good manners.
I got it. It's about showing consideration and respect for others.
Okay.
So you might say, the staff treated all customers with courtesy and respect. Or, it's common courtesy to hold the door open for others. Right, we all appreciate that.
Absolutely.
And then to really highlight its importance, you could say, a simple act of courtesy can brighten someone's day.
So true.
It really can. It's like a social lubricant.
It is.
Makes interactions smoother and more pleasant.
And it doesn't cost anything.
Exactly. It costs nothing to give, but the rewards are invaluable.
I love that. Okay, now here's a word I see everywhere. Coverage.
Coverage.
And it's about, how much something is covered.
Right.
But I'm not always sure about all of its contexts.
Yeah, it has a few different meanings depending on the context. So think about news, for instance. You could say, the media provided extensive coverage of the breaking news event.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Wall-to-wall coverage.
Mm.
It can also refer to insurance, like, my health insurance plan offers comprehensive medical coverage.
Okay, so it's like...
So it's how much it protects you.
How much it protects you. Okay.
And then, even geographically, you could say, the cell phone company boasts nationwide coverage.
Oh, so it's how widely...
Apparently something is available or accessible.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
So it could be about, like, how widely it's reported, protected, available.
Yeah, the context will usually make it clear which meaning is intended.
Gotcha. Okay, let's crack this next one.
Okay.
Crack. Now, I'm picturing, like, a broken window, but I know it's more than that.
Of course it is. It's got multiple meanings.
Okay, lay it on me.
So, as a noun, you could say, a tiny crack appeared in the vase after I dropped it. Oops, right? Or, the hikers squeezed through a narrow crack in the rocks.
Oh, okay.
So it's that physical opening or fissure.
Yeah.
But as a verb, it can mean to break something. Often with a sharp sound, you could say, I cracked the code and unlocked the secret level of the game.
Oh, yeah.
We've all been there. Or, in a more serious context, the detective worked tirelessly to crack the case.
Ooh, so it's like you're breaking through.
Exactly. You're solving something, figuring it out.
So it can be a physical break a way through something.
That's right, true.
Or even, like, a mental breakthrough.
Yes, it's all about finding the right context, just like with language learning itself.
Ooh, I like that. Okay, speaking of creative breakthroughs, what about craft?
Craft.
I think of, handmade things.
Right, that's one association.
But it's a verb too, right?
You are on a roll today. It is a verb too.
Okay, tell me more.
So as a noun, it can refer to an activity involving skill in making things by hand. So you could say, the artisan's crafts were displayed at the local market. Beautiful handmade crafts. Or it can refer to a vehicle. The spacecraft orbited the Earth for several months.
Oh, wow.
A little more high-tech, right.
Uh-huh.
And as a verb, it means to make or create something skillfully.
Oh.
So you could say, the author carefully crafted each sentence of her novel.
Ooh.
Really taking their time, paying attention to detail.
Yeah.
You could also say, the chef crafted a delicious meal using fresh local ingredients.
Oh, yeah.
Sounds delicious, right?
Oh.
And for a more abstract use, the politician crafted a compelling argument to win over voters.
So you're creating something with like
Yes.
care and attention.
Care, attention, and skill.
Whether it's physical.
Exactly. An
Yeah.
idea, a strategy. It's about that deliberate creation.
Okay, I'm getting it. All right, we are in the home stretch.
All right, let's do it.
We are crawling to the finish line.
I love it.
And speaking of which, next word is crawl.
Crawl.
Literally meaning to move slowly on your hands and knees.
That is the most basic definition, yes.
Okay, so how would I use that in a sentence?
You could say, the baby crawled across the floor, giggling with delight.
Ah.
Adorable, right? Or in a more serious context, the wounded soldier crawled to safety under heavy fire.
Oh, wow.
So it can convey that sense of struggle and effort. And then to describe slow-moving traffic, because we've all been there, traffic was crawling along the highway during rush hour.
Yeah, so it's moving slowly.
Slowly and often with effort.
Yeah, I can relate to that one for sure. Okay, now for the engine of innovation, creativity. This one's all about thinking outside the box.
Absolutely. It's the ability to generate new and original ideas, to think differently.
Okay.
So you could say the artist's creativity was evident in her bold and colorful paintings, or the company encouraged creativity and innovation through brainstorming sessions.
Yeah, to get those ideas flowing.
Exactly. And to highlight its importance, in today's rapidly changing world, creativity is a valuable asset.
So true. I mean, it's what helps us solve problems.
Yeah.
Adapt to new situations. And just make the world more interesting.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Right. And the one bringing all these ideas to life, the creator.
Creator, the originator, the maker.
So I'm thinking artists, inventors.
Yes.
Is it broader than that?
It can be. It can be anyone who brings something new into existence.
Okay.
So you could say the creator of the popular video game became a global icon, or the fashion designer is the creator of the season's hottest trends. And then to acknowledge a higher power, many believe that a divine creator is responsible for the universe.
Wow. Okay, so it can be a work of art, a technological innovation, or the universe itself.
Exactly. It's about bringing something new into being. It reminds us that we all have the potential to be creators in our own way.
I like that. Okay, we're down to our last two words.
We're almost there.
Next up is credibility.
Credibility.
I think of trustworthiness.
You got it. It's about being believable and trustworthy. So you could say the scientist's extensive research gave his findings credibility. People trusted his expertise.
Yeah.
You could also say the witness's inconsistent statements damaged her credibility in court.
Oh, so you can lose it.
You can definitely lose it. It's not something that's just given. It has to be earned.
Yeah.
And to highlight that, building credibility takes time and consistent effort.
So it's like your reputation.
Exactly. It's your reputation for honesty and accuracy. It's something that you build over time.
Yeah, and I feel like in today's world where there's so much information.
Just so much information.
Credibility is more important than ever.
It's crucial to be able to discern what's credible and what's not.
Yeah, absolutely. And so credible is just the adjective form.
Exactly. It just means believable or trustworthy.
Okay.
So you could say the journalist provided a credible account of the events, or the evidence presented in court was not considered credible. And then to bring it to everyday life, because this is so important these days, always make sure your sources are credible before sharing information online.
That is such good advice. Critical thinking and credible sources. That's how we navigate the information overload these days.
Absolutely. We can't just believe everything we see and hear.
Okay, we are at the last word of our vocabulary boot camp.
I can't believe it. It flew by.
It did. Okay, last word is creep.
Creep.
Now, I have a feeling this one's got like a spooky vibe.
It can be a little spooky. It refers to slow, stealthy movement. So you could say the fog crept slowly over the valley, obscuring the view.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of eerie, right?
Yeah.
Or the cat crept up on the unsuspecting mouse.
Classic.
Classic cat move. And it can also describe a person who's strange or unsettling. You might say, that stranger kept staring at me. He really gave me the creeps.
Oh, yeah. So it's like that slow movement.
Slow, secretive movement. And then also that feeling of uneasiness or discomfort.
So it's both. Like,
it has that dual meaning, yeah, which makes it even more interesting.
I like it. Yeah, it adds a little bit of
intrigue.
Intrigue to the word. I like it. All right. Well, that was all 30 words.
We did it.
We did it. I feel like I learned so much.
Yeah.
And you didn't just give me definitions.
Good. That's the key.
You showed me how to actually use the words.
That's what we want, right? We want to be able to actually use these words in our everyday lives.
Exactly. And I think that's what's so valuable for language learners. Because you can look up a word in a dictionary.
You can.
But if you don't know how to use it,
it's useless.
It's useless, yeah. So this has been amazing.
Well, I'm glad you found it helpful. And remember, the key is practice.
Yes.
The more you use these words, the more natural they'll become.
Yeah, absolutely. So here's a challenge for all of our listeners out there.
Okay, I love a challenge.
Pick one new word each day.
All right.
And try to use it.
Use it.
In a conversation.
In an email.
In an email. In your writing.
And your thoughts. Even
in your thoughts, you'll be surprised how quickly your vocabulary expands.
And how much more confident you feel using English.
Absolutely. All right. Well, until next time.
Happy learning.
Happy learning, everyone.